Hey there, today we're going to talk about reamping. Reamping is taking a clean signal, a DI, of an instrument and sending it back into the real world so you can capture it through an amp or whatever it is you want to send it through. So why you want to do this is so you can have all the options later instead of having to decide now on the best tone. Say you didn't have access to great amps or great microphones or whatever, or you're just in your home recording. You can capture that clean signal, take it into a studio or send it out somewhere, and they can reamp it and get the tones you're looking for. So the first thing you need to have is an output from your audio interface into an amp. Now typically you want to use a reamp box if your audio interface doesn't have a reamp out, and that just sets the impedances to match what a guitar head or whatever would expect. So in the software you want to set up the output of the track to be that physical output of your audio interface. For example, my Apogee Ensemble has a dedicated guitar reamp out, and so I assign that track I want to reamp out to that. And out of that, I have a guitar cable running into a head. You can run into a pedal first like I am. I have like a Tube Screamer clone going into my 5150, and out of the 5150 goes into a cab, which in turn has a microphone on it, and that is plugged back into a preamp, and it all comes back into the audio interface. So out of the audio interface into guitar head, out of cabinet into microphone, out of microphone back into preamp and interface and record. So I use Pro Tools mostly, and so I'm going to show you my setup, but it'll apply to whatever DAW you use. So right away I set a little 1000 hertz sine wave at the beginning of each track, so I have something to line up to, like a cue, to kind of line things up so the phase is correct if I ever blend mics or whatever. Everything's just in time. So I do that on all the tracks right about where they start, and then I take all of them and line them all up so they're all on one track so I can play it and kind of lean back and just let the magic happen. And if anything messes up, I can pick up from there again. So here's what a DI sounds like of a guitar. You'll hear it's kind of boring and bland and clean. And here's what the reamp sound is. Much closer to what we're looking for. So my guitar one track, which has all of the tracks, I have sent to my Apogee Guitar 1, which is the reamp out of my ensemble, and I have a new track set up with my preamp input, and I'll hit record, and I can either start recording, or if I hit I can actually monitor what's going on, and I can hear everything together. So let's just hear just the reamping signal. So here's that guitar. So from here I would start making adjustments on the head or pedals or whatever, move the microphone, change cabs to capture the exact tone I'm looking for, and once I found it, I'll record it all in and then record the next guitar and in the solos, get all those tones right, and just set it and forget it and let it go and record everything. So here is the solo tone. And once again, I have that little 1000 hertz sine wave there to kind of cue it up and know right where to line things up at. So it's gonna play it through, and here comes the solo. So after I would reamp everything, I'd line it all up using the little cues I made and kind of demo it and see if, to ensure that the tones I captured are the right ones. I can kind of hear it in context, and that's really helpful. So if you ever are getting tracks from somebody to ramp with, ask them for like a submix or like a kind of rough demo of everything else but the guitars or bass or whatever it is you're reamping for them. That way you can have a context for everything to fit into. So that's how to reamp, an example of why it's good practice to always take a clean DI signal of guitar and bass while tracking so that later you have the option to reamp. So thanks for joining me, and if you want to watch more how-to videos, check us out on YouTube or Facebook, or go to icv.edu.